wearing blue and weighing in also at 147 pounds. In 1992, he captured Olympic gold, and now, as a professional, he has a perfect record. 30 bouts, 30 victories, including 24 knockouts, while earning 4 world titles and the recognition as, pound for pound, one of the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from East LA, presenting the former junior lightweight world champion, former lightweight world champion, former super lightweight world champion, and now the reigning and defending undefeated WBC Welterweight Champion of the World, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La
Hoya with a new clothing contract, therefore a new color scheme, and also the shortest trunks we've seen in the ring in a while. Wonder if he designed them himself. Those trunks are as short as the things you wore in the '68 Olympics, George.
Short all, baby. What I don't like is Oscar having a hard time warming up prior to the fight. Even his trainer was hitting him in the side and in the back, trying to make life come to him.
Well, so few people have given Carr a chance. You wonder how difficult it's been for De La Hoya to maintain his concentration on this bout, but he's always conquered that obstacle in the past.
Oba Carr's got to move around, land a shot, forget about the power, just put something on De La Hoya to win every round. Pressure is on Oscar to get a knockout. He's got to stick his jab out there and dig hard, but Oba Carr has the luxury of just winning round after round.
That's that quick little right hand that is one of Carr's better punches.
It was that quick little right hand up the middle that floored Trinidad in the second round of his bout with Felix back in '94. De La Hoya landing a left hand, and Carr seeming to wobble for a moment.
Yeah, a left jab it was, Jim.
Wasn't all that hard a punch. And De La Hoya promised that he would not be cautious in the first round, and he is not. A left hook produces an early knockdown.
5, 6, 7.
And those punches did not look hard, which isn't to say they weren't. They just didn't have the appearance of being punches with great leverage.
And there's a rumor that Carr is badly overtrained, George. Some of those who saw him in Big Bear saying too many rounds of sparring, too much running. If a fighter's overtrained, does he have trouble taking punches?
No, that's not the problem. It's most, it'll all be affected with the accuracy of his punches.
And the fact that he's getting into exchanges against a stronger man.
Yeah,
he takes another left, and that left throws Carr's knees momentarily.
And he's not moving. Oba Carr should be on the move here. Left and right, left and right.
Big first round for Oscar De La Hoya. Carr trying to fight back now in the last 30 seconds of the round.
Keep him up.
Now he's falling into the web of Oscar De La Hoya's power now. You got to keep moving. You just can't be there. And the punches shouldn't have any power when Oba Carr throws the punch. Just slightly enough to keep him off balance.
Carr trying to fire a hard right hand.
Carr has recovered his balance nicely. He is a very courageous fighter.
Oscar's following him around without a jab.
Round one by CompuBox numbers. Oba Carr landing 9 of 72 punches. De La Hoya 25 of 56. An unusually aggressive first round for Oscar, backing up his claim that he would be a more aggressive fighter than has been the case for the past few years.
Oscar De La Hoya is doing a great job of keeping his hands up. He's not dropping his hands. Generally, he gets comfortable. He puts his left hand to his side so he can get more range. He's being extra careful not to do that tonight. Oba Carr's doing a terrible job of staying in front of De La Hoya.
Meaning he's not moving enough.
No, you got to move. And if you want to stand in front of him later on, you get to know him, get his rhythm, maybe 5 or 6 rounds. But right now, it's not a good idea. Oscar's got to give him a bit of respect. You just can't just walk right over him. pick your shots and do the same thing.
De La Hoya fighting the first minute of the second round the way he's fought so many first rounds in the past, mostly looking and setting himself up for opportunities down the road.
And they've got to sell Oscar De La Hoya back on his left jab. You want to keep that jab in the business. It's a good jab. You don't want to desert it now. Stay right with your left jab.
Oba Carr beating Oscar to the punch through the middle portions of round 2 now. And Oscar not throwing much as Carr begins to score.
Now, Oba Carr is allowed to lay on Oscar's neck. The taller guy is going to get the worst of it. Start to affect your legs a little bit. I was his corner. I'd start warning the referee now. Get him off my neck. Get off my fighter's neck.
De La Hoya trying to dig the left of the body. The thing about the jab for De La Hoya, Carr is a setup fighter, George. He likes to set up, mount an attack, walk a few steps, set up and do it again. If you keep the jab in his face, it's hard for him to set up and start a rhythm.
Yeah, but Oscar's having problems because if you're going to throw a stiff left jab, you're not going to be able to follow it with a good right hand. So you have to just put your right hand down for a while. And that's what he's not wanting to do right now. He wants to keep the right hand in the show, too. Just lay off the right hand and just stiff jab him for a round.
Oscar is coming forward as promised, but in this round he hasn't been shooting many punches.
If Oscar only could understand the damage he can do with his left jab, what he has done.
Another right hand by Carr. Oba Carr appearing to outwork Oscar De La Hoya in round 2.
Oh yeah, he's trying to win this round.
This is a very good round for Oba Carr. Such a good professional fighter, coming back from a first round knockdown and establishing himself and winning the round in my judgment.
And De La Hoya throwing only 8 power punches in the round. You can see that Harold Letterman also thought that Carr won the second.
And a good stiff jab from De La Hoya to open up his attack here.
Oba Carr's got no luxury now of being able to stay in position and let your opponent come to you. That's what you want in boxing. He's doing a good job of staying in position. He never pushes his right leg behind his left leg behind his right leg.
But he appeared to be momentarily hurt by a left hand again, and Oscar has unloaded more left hand artillery here in the third round. It's almost as though the second round didn't exist, as De La Hoya comes up in round 3 and begins to pick up on the damage that he created for Carr in round 1.
Well, a guy like Oba Carr, you really got to count that into the cost of your building. You're going to get hit and you're going to get hurt, but you got to recover and get right back to your strategy. He bends his waist here and there, which is fine. He's never out of position. Right foot is always behind the left. He's got Oscar hunting for a knockout. He's the champion.
Good right hand by Carr.
De La Hoya lands a little right of his own in retaliation. When De La Hoya is active with his left hand, particularly when he fires left hooks, Carr has trouble handling that. When De La Hoya sits back, Carr can attack, be aggressive, and control long stretches of the fight.
Now Carr has moved the tide because he's inside where he wants to be. He's not having to back away. Whenever Oscar throws a shot, he's inside waiting on everything to finish. He's not away from it. Only mistake is you don't want to get into exchanges with a good champion like Oscar.
Good left hook inside by Carr, though, and that stopped Oscar momentarily in his tracks.
But Carr is at this point beating Oscar to the punch.
Yep, and he's doing a good job of it. The power is not in his shots, but his strategy is working. Oscar does not have a strategy tonight. Just following around a good fighter. You follow him around without a jab. Haven't thrown 3 combinations yet.
Carr being first, now De La Hoya coming back. You heard Eddie Carr asking his son at the end of round 2, be first.
Now Oscar's starting to drop his left hand, which is the worst habit he has. Carr.
Most of this fight has taken place in about points.
Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Jim, even in points, I agree with Larry. 28-28. Actually, 2 rounds to 1 Oba Carr. Jim, I got to tell you something. You got to go along with the referee and call that first round 10-8 De La Hoya. But as replays will show later, I really believe Oscar was holding Oba Carr behind the head with his right hand when he hit him with the left and dropped him. It was a holding and hitting thing that Steele didn't see. But since he didn't call it, it's 10-8 Oscar for the first round.
Well, if you're looking for a new De La Hoya style, this De La Hoya looks to me like the guy who fought Julio Cesar Chavez and elected to slug it out with him toe-to-toe. It would appear, if this is the new style, that Oscar's going to offer out more contact, but he's going to take more punches in return.
Oba Carr is doing a fine job because he has a strategy. Oscar's only looking for a knockout, and this is a fine boxer, Oscar De La Hoya. He has great legs. He's got a good left jab. He's not using any skills at this point.
So he is shortchanging his own talent.
Yeah, he's just thrown away everything he's ever worked for. You don't want to do that. This is a business you don't want to be hit. Oba Carr's got a strategy. He realizes he's not the best fighter in the ring tonight, and his strategy is working. Good overhand rights every now and then. He never tries to finish Oscar once he hurt him.
They trade again, and Carr is first and last in the exchange.
Oscar's got to get that jab working and work on his combinations and use his legs a little bit.
Now the crowd begins to wake up a little and understand what they're seeing, which is that after the lopsided round 1 in De La Hoya's favor, Oba Carr is very much in the fight.
And that was a good left hook to the body by Oba Carr. But we don't want this fight, if you're in Oscar's corner, to continue to go round after round after round.
Why isn't Oscar throwing more jabs?
Oscar decided to be aggressive. A jab is more effective when you're circling your opponent, moving around a little bit. You see he backs up and he gets the jab out.
Yeah, when he's not throwing the jab, Oba Carr can decide what he wants to do. He doesn't have to be fearful of anything, of being thrown off balance. When the jab isn't there, Carr is a little quicker with that right hand especially.
You want to jab and slide back just a little bit so that this guy can look at you and you can hit him again with it.
Hard left hook to the body by De La Hoya, but Carr was landing his own left hook in return at the same time.
A triple left hook, as it were.
De La Hoya starting to throw the jab a little more, but again, I make my point. When Oscar doesn't throw the jab, Carr can walk to a spot he likes, set up, and mount his attack. If Oscar keeps punching, Oba can't do that.
Oba Carr is making a mistake.
And Oscar assures us that his dad, Joel De La Hoya, remains a part of the inner circle, although the inner circle is going to be narrowed after this fight.
Oba Carr's done a good job of body punching. A few times the referee is saying keep him up, but those punches are getting right into that navel.
Now, I'm sitting here as I watch this fight and watch Carr fight an excellent fight. Whether people thought early on when in our introductions we were just hyping Carr to make it seem like more of a fight. Well, now you can see what we were talking about. This man is not the ideal tune-up for a bigger fight.
Oscar's got determination like no one you've ever seen.
And he exerts some of that determination in going to Carr's body.
Tremendous body shots by Oscar. His best fusillade of the night.
But Carr handling the De La Hoya thunder better than he did earlier in the fight.
He's not handling it. He's just waiting his turn. Those shots hurt, and it takes a moment. Now Oscar's backing up for a little oxygen himself. Oscar's starting to back up a little bit so he can see a better range for his left jab. I like that now. Don't want to just walk into him, make him reach and exert himself. Oba Carr's been doing a good job because Oscar's been coming to him. Now Oscar's got to jab him and back up and bring him into his power.
Oscar blocking Carr's last right hand with his glove. Working the jab, but only sporadically is De La Hoya, and now Carr lands another right hand lead.
This is what happened when you just decide you're not going to listen to your people in the corner. You're out there alone. It's a hard fight. You can win, but you gotta. It's hard because you're not listening. Oscar's chief corner man told him, "Sit down. Let us do our job." And you can see they've had a. Oba Carr's doing a good job, but once he starts this power hunting, head hunting, he can get himself into big trouble. Now Oba Carr's backing up, moving side to side.
Quiet for the moment. Fifth round almost complete.
Something supernatural tonight. I don't know if this is supernatural, but it's a real fight, certainly exceeding the expectations of most of us.
And though we're less than halfway into the bout, already your mind wanders to the subject of a possible decision. There's a core of opinion among cynics in the sport, reinforced by the scoring in De La Hoya Whitaker and De La Hoya Cuarte, that Oscar has a hard time losing a decision. But what if Oba Carr clearly wins several rounds? It's not out of the question.
Yeah, but Oscar gotten out there and tried to fight and win every fight he's been into, so you don't want to label him that kind of guy. This guy's a winner.
As he proved in the 12th round against Cuarte.
He hasn't, he hasn't had any gift. Even right now, when he could be boxing and moving, his corner has not even told him to do much. It's about moving. He's still out there trying to win. Call him the golden boy, but he's no soft touch. I like Oba Carr's fight. He's been able to just touch him every now and then. Nothing hard, just touch him. Then he periodically lands some power to keep Oscar honest. Oscar standing around waiting for one shot.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating to watch him fight this way, George.
Yeah, it looked like an old plotter or something.
I mean, this is a guy who has boxing skills, immense boxing skills. And you just wonder why a fighter with all that craft built up over the years would renounce his boxing skills to try to fight as a slugger.
You never know what happened. But when you have a corner and you can't listen, boy, there's not much else you have. Oba Carr staying right with his strategy. Takes a few left jabs here and there. Stays with it.
Carr, for the most part, busier than De La Hoya. Wobbled through the first round, survived the knockdown. Probably fell behind by 2 points on every scorecard, but since then has been able to execute his plan.
He just touches Oscar, touches his gloves every now and then. Touch here, touch there, just to keep Oscar starting all over again. Every time he touches his hand, Oscar has to start all over.
De La Hoya with a cobra-like left-hand counter in there. Yep. Halfway through the fight, and it is a fight in Las Vegas.
Oba Carr. Trinidad stopping Carr in 8 rounds, just as they compared the two fighters in their fights against Whitaker.
First round, Oscar De La Hoya starts to bounce a little bit in his feet. I don't know what kind of shoes
You've always felt like he's most effective when he bounces, George.
He gets a couple of bounces, and he's got his rhythm. He can do anything.
Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Jim, in rounds, I got it all even 3-3, but Oscar De La Hoya winning a fight by 1 point, 50 57-56 on a 10-point must system due to the knockdown. Jim, I got to tell you, in that last round, I didn't see Oscar De La Hoya doing a thing. And I'll be honest with you, I really believe he's not moving inside because he got headbutted in the first round, and he's nervous about getting headbutted again. Steele didn't see it in the first round, but boy, he got headbutted.
Carr working with the left hand, setting up the occasional right. He is outboxing champion Oscar De La Hoya right now.
Goes left and he goes right. He catches Oscar waiting and he hits him. Never too hard.
In the last round, De La Hoya threw only 40 punches.
There's blood streaming from below the left eye of De La Hoya, perhaps on a butt.
1 point. 1 point headbutt. Hey,
now wait a minute, what's going on here? He's taking a point away for a headbutt?
Yeah, intentional. He called it intentional.
He called that an intentional headbutt?
He did indeed. So referee Richard Steele removes another point from Oba Carr to go with the point that he almost certainly lost on the knockdown in the first round. And now an angry De La Hoya comes back. De La Hoya trying to land the one big left hook that would punish Carr for the butt.
When you do that, you end up getting buttered again. Got to keep you cool.
Yesterday, Gil Clancy, advisor to De La Hoya's trainer Robert Alcazar, told us that he would go to referee Richard Steele, intentionally bald, to point out that intentionally bald Oba Carr might use his head as a butting weapon.
Yeah, but I would prefer a guy bald to butt me than a guy with hair, because that's where the scratches get in. You can, a string of hair kind of slides up.
I still want to see the replay to see whether it looked deliberate.
De La Hoya landing a good counter left hook inside, and De La Hoya bouncing and more active than has been the case before. Carr lands a right hand on the swollen cheek and another one.
It's the bounce in his legs. Keep the bounce, Oscar. Oba Carr should just keep moving, land a shot here and there, and keep moving. Make certain they don't stop this fight.
The bleeding and the swelling will be below Oscar's left eye, so they should not interfere with his vision.
But if they happen to stop this fight because of the butt,
1 point, no blood.
he loses it.
And now Richard Steele removes another point from Oba Carr for low blows. So Carr has lost 2 penalty points in this round.
Oba Carr better realize if he want to win this fight, he better get a knockout.
Butted him enough in this fight. Another accidental headbutt caused the cut, so he took away a point. But it wasn't intentional. Intentionally takes away 2 points. Now, what this means is if the fight gets stopped because of that cut, we go to the scorecards.
Yeah, okay, we all understand that, Harold, but why is Richard Steele once again imposing himself on a championship fight by calling that accidental butt a foul?
Larry, there is... Forget it.
Because of the damage that was done is apparently Harold's point there.
But it's not interfering with the fight. It's not... De La Hoya is fighting his fight. The blood is not going into his eye. No, you know, it was an accidental butt, period.
And so there will be something else to debate in Richard Steele's ongoing dossier of memorable ring decisions. He's the man, of course, who stopped Chavez Taylor with 2 seconds to go in the fight, and Chavez, having lost on 2 scorecards, made him the victor by TKO. A lot of people thought that was the right decision. Then several months later, he stopped the fight between Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock. Most people thought that was a premature stoppage, and from that moment forward, Steele has been booed every time he's been introduced as the referee of a major bout here.
You know, everybody's entitled to make mistakes. I've never brought this up again, but since you did...
2 hard left hooks by De La Hoya, and Carr grabbing and holding on.
Let's get to the fight.
Oscar's been able to land some left uppercuts.
He's made his left hand more of a factor in the bout, which is what I personally think he always has to do when he's in trouble, George.
Yeah, that left hand is his groceries.
It's his Sunday punch.
Yeah.
It's his meal ticket.
He he should have been bouncing and jabbing, and then you just wonder, is Oscar getting old soon or what? It reminds me of me. Now you go, Oscar. Use your legs. But Oba Carr's got to make certain that he goes left and right so the movement of Oscar's leg doesn't affect what he's doing. Don't move straight in.
Fascinating suggestion, George. You're wondering if Oscar De La Hoya has gotten old already. He's 26.
It doesn't take long. When you stop using your legs, it's not good news.
And of course, with regard to any comparison between De La Hoya's meeting with Carr and Trinidad's meeting with Carr, remember that Felix Trinidad fought Carr back in 1994.
Now look at Oscar, how well he moves. Why hasn't he been moving all night?
Because when he moves, he's not punching, and he's
as the pattern obtains through most of the bout. De La Hoya landing more punches, Carr throwing many more. So if you're looking strictly for punch output and activity, Carr is the leader in that category.
Now Oscar's gotten to be the counter puncher here in this round. He only hits after he's been hit.
Oba Carr has been the distance many times in his career, more often in fact than De La Hoya, but he has shown a tendency, as he showed against Frankie Randall earlier this year, to fade a little bit in the last 2 rounds.
He's come geared for the fight of his life. A lot of people thought that Oba Carr had gone downhill. He's obviously trained, motivated to give the best effort he possibly can, and even better in this fight.
Oscar, now he's bouncing good. Now he's bouncing. Now Oba Carr's got to make sure that he goes left and right. That's what throws the bouncing off, not coming forward.
Inside by Carr, and De La Hoya retaliates with one of his own as Steele steps in and momentarily stops the action.
Sometimes you want to drop your hand out of the sight of your opponent to keep him guessing so he doesn't jump in too much. You always want to know where your guy's hands are, and Oba Carr stopped.
Whenever he bleeds in a fight, Oscar De La Hoya feels he hasn't fought the fight he wanted to fight, but certainly the bleeding here has nothing to do with the fight he's trying to fight.
He's gotten accustomed to swelling under his left eye. It happened against Miguel Angel Gonzalez. It happened against Chavez. Obviously, it'll be the case from the butt tonight.
And some boos coming up because Oscar has decided that he wanted to dance a little.
And that's nothing wrong with that. Use your skills. If you got them, use them.
But he's again allowing Carr to establish the activity contrast as Oba throws most of the punches.
He seemed to think that he can take the round by way of a knockdown or something, so he loses the round intentionally almost.
Keep in mind, De La Hoya with a likely cushion on the scorecards. Knockdown in round 1, and then in round 8, a point penalty to Carr for butting and another point penalty for hitting low.
Oba Carr's excellent fight. Excellent fight.
They came here for a celebration, a coronation, and the fight broke out.
Harold, how do you have it through 9?
You know, Jim, it's a very, very interesting fight. There's no question. In rounds, 5 rounds to 4, very close, Oscar De La Hoya. In points, which is what counts, 86, 82, a commanding 4-point lead for De La Hoya, because how do you overcome a 2-point round in round 1, a 3-point round in round 7? That's Oba Carr's problem. He's got to win a lot more rounds. He virtually has to win every one of the last 3 rounds to win this fight.
It's a real close fight. Mainly because Oba Carr is doing what he wants to do. Oscar's doing what he has to do.
Don't hold him. Break.
It's turned it into a war.
All 3 judges are from here in Las Vegas.
He's able to miss a body shot, move around the ring, and nothing happens to him. Oscar just waits. You got to make him pay. Now Oscar's allowing Oba Carr to step forward with his left jab.
In round 9, the pattern once again obtained. De La Hoya landed more punches. Carr threw more. Now they trade pretty equally in round 10.
Carr is doing a good job, but he don't want to get into a slug fist with Oscar De La Hoya.
After that first round knockdown, Carr's shown a pretty good chin. He has taken some thunderous left hooks. And of course, he landed body punches early against De La Hoya, maybe to take some of the steam out of those punches.
You know, we've celebrated Carr's chin, and rightly so. And although Carr does not punch anywhere near as hard as Oscar, he's hit Oscar with a lot of clean punches, and Oscar's chin is held up.
Oscar's got a good chin. You can put Oscar down for a big heart because he keeps coming. Take a break, goes right back for a knockout.
Well, after the 12th round of the Cuarte fight, it would be hard to call Oscar's heart into question.
He threw a left hook to the body that time, was probably the best shot of the whole night.
And that left hook to the body, setting up 2 uppercuts that backed Carr up.
Carr's got to make certain he stay away from the left hand of Oscar.
De La Hoya with another crunching left hook. And another uppercut.
I can hear Oscar breathing hard from here at ringside.
Yeah, because being a puncher takes a lot of oxygen.
Change the perception of Oscar's fight with Trinidad, if it does at all. Out here in the West and Southwest, Oscar is a clear favorite. Back east, no doubt the support will be for Trinidad.
Oscar's got the bounce into his legs again. Oba Carr is wondering. He sits there and thinks about what he's going to do because Oscar's moving, fanning shots away. That's the Oscar De La Hoya we know right there. That's the Oscar. You know, Oba Carr's got to can't make a. You got to be a moving target.
Another left hand by De La Hoya, and down goes Carr again.
4, 5.
What a shot!
Oba Carr does not want any more of that.
Come to me, come to me.
Well, once again, that'll change the perception again.
And Steele says that'll do it. Oba Carr just couldn't get it together, and Richard Steele stops the fight. Just like Trinidad did in 1984. Oscar De La Hoya hurts Carr too badly for Carr to be able to finish the fight. Trinidad's TKO of Carr came in the 8th round. De La Hoya does it in the 11th in a fight in which Carr had given Oscar a lot of trying moments. But when he gets his left hand into play, like that, he's a superior fighter.
Most importantly, he fell right on his face. That's not what you want to see.
It's hard to recover.
Oscar's got the power.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino of Las Vegas, referee Richard Steele, following the knockdown, calls a halt to the bout at 55 seconds of round number 11. The winner, and still the undefeated WBC Welterweight Champion of the World from East LA, the Gold